Welcome to the Jason Coleman Show, and welcome to 1972. Thank you all for joining me here for the latest episode in our Country Piano Yearbook series of shows, as we're taking country classics one year at a time and spending our entire episode in that particular year. So far, we've covered 1970 and 1971 in previous shows, which leads us today to the year 1972. Of course, no matter the year or whatever music we have here on the show, you know that I'm bringing that slip note piano style of my granddad Floyd Cramer to any song that I get my hands on, and that's certainly true today. And I think our 1972 lineup of songs today really lend themselves to that slip note. We'll see if you all agree with me once it's all said and done. For now, y'all pull up a chair here beside the piano and listen along, and let's let the memories all just come flooding back on in from 1972. We kicked things off just a moment ago with It's 4 in the Morning, taken to number one in early 1972 by Faron Young. Of course, Faron was a huge country star in the 50s and 60s, and in fact, a very young Floyd Cramer actually toured with Faron in the 50s. But after Hello Walls in 1961, it took Faron a full decade to make it back to number one again on the charts with this song. And 4 in the Morning ended up as the final number one song of Faron Young's career. Up next, I'll play for you another song that reached number one in 1972. And this was one of a decade-long run of 24 number one songs for Merle Haggard and the Strangers. It's not love, but it's not bad. Funny Face, one of two #1 songs from Donna Fargo in 1972. And I'm sure you remember the other one, right? The Happiest Girl in the Whole USA. 1972, it's where we're spending our entire episode today here. It's our Country Piano Yearbook 1972 episode of The Jason Coleman Show. And if you're watching right now and you remember these songs or remember what was happening in your life in 1972, maybe it was a significant year for you, be sure to let us know there in the comments. And that's always the best part for me and for our family when I get to play these songs, is to see what kind of memories these songs bring back to all of you who are tuned in and listening along. So make sure to leave a note there in the comments if you are able to do that. Up next, though, as we continue onward through 1972, this next one's such a great song, and it sort of captures a moment in time for this next artist. Because everybody knows Hank Williams Jr. Talk about larger than life, a little rough and rowdy, but before he took on that outlaw persona in the later 70s and became a superstar in the 80s, Hank Jr. started out his first decade or so of music following a little more closely in his dad's more traditional kind of style. And this next song is about as smooth and countrypolitan as a song can be. Sounds a little different than the Hank Jr. that we are accustomed to hearing. So picture in your mind, if you will, a clean-cut Bocephus. No beard, no sunglasses, no hat. From 1972, this is Hank Jr.'s 11 Roses. Delta Dawn, made famous, of course, by Tanya Tucker, one of the newest members of the Country Music Hall of Fame, and it all started for her with this song in 1972 when she was just 13 years old. Hard to believe. We'll keep it rolling now on our Country Piano Yearbook 1972 episode of The Jason Coleman Show, as we're hitting all the country highlights from that year, 1972, all here from my piano to your ears, I guess. Hopefully to your heart and your soul too, with all these great songs. And remember, of course, if you missed our previous Country Piano Yearbook episodes covering the years 1970 and 1971, you can watch those or any of our nearly 120 episodes of The Jason Coleman Show anytime on demand for free on YouTube or from my website, jasoncolemanmusic.com. And y'all can look forward to 1973 and 1974 and onward in the episodes to come. We'll hop backwards and forwards in time too as we go along. There's certainly no shortage of great songs and great years to choose from. In fact, the hard part for me is always picking out what to play and then what to have to leave out on these episodes. But we're doing our best to hit as many as we can here for you. Our next selection I'll play for you was a hit for George Jones, and it's a heartbreaker, as seemed to be his specialty. The song asks us to imagine a world where no music was playing, then think of a church with nobody praying. If you've ever looked up at a sky with no blue, then you've seen a picture of me without you. All right, up next we have the best part of our show in store for you with a special guest performance as always. Now this guy, our special guest performer, has been busy out on the concert stage alongside his dad here. And I have a video to show you now from earlier this month here in Nashville at the annual Chet Atkins Appreciation Society convention. Now every year my friend Megan Taylor and I love getting to play a few songs at the convention and pay tribute to Megan's Uncle Chet. and my granddad Floyd and all the great music that the two of them made together. And for the last several years, we have loved to get to include our families in the mix too, as you will see. Y'all ready for this? Let's watch.
Would y'all please welcome, if he's ready, my little boy who just turned 8 years old. Please meet Mr. Avery Cramer Coleman. How you doing, Avery?
Great.
Enjoying the music?
Yes.
And do you love Chet Atkins and your great-granddad Floyd Cramer? How much?
A lot.
Good answer. He's got an old song here that Chet recorded at one point too, but my granddad did also, one of his first records. We worked up and we're going to see if we can work it out here. It's called Kareen Karina. All right? Here, I'll put this in. Take your first note. Yep, he's ready. Here we go.
Good job, Avery.
How about that? Avery Cramer Coleman, everyone, live from the concert stage right here in Nashville just a couple of weeks ago. The kid has no fear, does he? Oh my goodness. Well, folks, we have one last song before we go, but first, a couple of quick reminders here. Make sure you've signed up for Everyday Piano. It's my free Song of the Day emails. It's a simple email from me each morning with a feel-good piano song to start your day off with music. Sign up for Everyday Piano for free at jasoncolemanmusic.com. Also, you can visit jasonmusicstore.com to check out all of my music available on CD, my sheet music songbooks, and to take a look at our Easy Play music box and music sticks. And remember, the Jason Coleman Show is made possible only because of your support. And the best way you can support our show to keep all this music going and to keep it free for everybody is to become a supporter. Our supporter family is the fuel that keeps this musical engine running, and Natalie, Avery, and I could not keep doing it without each one of you. So if you're enjoying the music that you see and hear from me, we hope that you will join our supporter family today. You can find out more about supporter membership and all of the extra perks that you get when you sign up at jasoncolemanmusic.com/join, or you can call the number there you see on the screen and we'll help you out. Thank you for watching episode 118 of the Jason Coleman Show today. Now, you know we have one last song that ends every single episode, no matter what the theme happens to be. But before we turn the page on our Country Piano Yearbook 1972, our last song also happens to fit our theme. Because in 1972, Conway Twitty added lyrics to a popular instrumental song from 12 years earlier, and Conway took it all the way to #1 on the charts. So I'll play for you now the song that inspired Conway's Lost Her Love on Our Last Date. And I'll play it for you my granddad's way.
Thanks for watching the Jason Coleman Show.
From our family to yours, thanks for tuning in and for all your support.
See you next time.
Introducing my brand new Easy Play Music Box and Music Sticks. All you do is insert the stick, turn it on, turn it up. It's that easy. A brand new, easy way to listen to music anywhere, anytime. The Easy Play Music Box is a wireless, portable speaker. It's small, but it packs a big sound, and it's easy enough that anybody can use it right out of the box. And it works great with these music sticks. Each music stick contains hours of piano music recorded by yours truly. When you want to change, you just unplug one and plug in a different one. And while the sticks are designed for this music box, they're USB, so you can plug them straight into your car's audio system as well. And as for the music box, it's simple, it's portable, it's just fun to use. And by the way, it's Bluetooth also, so on top of playing these music sticks, you can also play music wirelessly from your phone or device. So there you have it, my new Easy Play Music Box and Music Sticks. A brand new, easy way to listen to music anywhere, anytime. Order online at jasonmusicbox.com or order over the phone at the number on your screen. Your favorite piano songs from the Jason Coleman Show are now available on CD.
13 albums and counting, including a brand new tribute to the great Ronnie Milsap. Plus the iconic songs of Elvis Presley. Also the country standards of George Jones and Tammy Wynette. And the feel-good music of John Denver. These new CDs are the latest in my Live from the Jason Coleman Show series, joining the timeless music of Glenn Campbell, the smooth sounds of the Carpenters, the smash hits of Roy Orbison, and The Young Years, a concert from my granddad Floyd Cramer's childhood piano. Plus a gospel piano concert, Hymns from the Heart. Also, Christmas hymns from the heart. And don't forget my country gold piano collection spanning the greatest country hits of the 50s and 60s, the 70s and 80s, and the 90s and 2000s. All 13 of these Live from the Jason Coleman Show CDs are on sale now. Get the entire collection in one discounted bundle, or check out our mix and match deal. Buy any 3 and get your 4th CD free. Order online at jasonmusicstore.com or call 833-633-8885 to order over the phone. So if you're a fan of our Sunday shows, now you can enjoy the music anytime on CD, Live from the Jason Coleman Show. Order yours today. You're listening to The Jason Coleman Show on WSM Radio.